In this video, I will show you how you can make your own bookmarks, and I will also show some example designs that are easy for beginners. I think this is a really fun DIY thing to make, so yeah, let's begin with the tutorial. You want to use watercolor paper for this. I will also be using watercolors, a little bit of acrylic paint, and a black marker. I then take some tape and apply it around the edges of the paper to kind of make a frame. And you also want to put the paper horizontally when you make the bookmarks. Once you have a piece of tape around all sides of the paper, you want to measure out 4 centimeters from the inner edge of the outer frame, like I'm doing in the video. And I make one mark at the top, one in the middle, and one at the bottom, so that the lines will be straight. Then I apply another piece of tape there, and I continue to do this across the entire paper until there's no more space left. So this will make 4 bookmarks on an A4 paper. I actually made 4, but I totally messed up one of them because I used the wrong painting brush and some other things I messed up. So I was only happy with 3 of them, and yeah, I will only show you how I made those 3. I will explain the designs more in detail later on, and painting the backgrounds of each bookmark first so that they have time to dry. And for the first bookmark, I filled out the entire background with pink paint, but you can choose any color you want, of course. So if you prefer blue or green or yellow, whatever, just do what you like. For the second good bookmark, I mixed a blue green, and a black color and fill that in on the entire background. But if you don't have a ready mixed blue-green color, you can just mix like a blue and a green and a black. But yeah, you can also just mix blue and black or green and black depending on what color you want. You don't have to make it exactly as I'm doing if you don't want to. For the last bookmark, I added a small piece of tape at the bottom because I wanted the frame to be wider there. And then I mixed some brown and yellows and added a little bit more water to create a beige color to fill out the background with. I thought the first layer was a little bit too warm, so I just mixed some brown and just a tiny bit of black and added a lot of water for the second layer. When the backgrounds have dried, we can start making the designs. So for this first design, I used some white and yellow acrylic paint to paint flowers on top of the pink background. I first made some random yellow dots by mixing yellow and a bit of white. You don't want to paint them too close to each other since you want to have space for the flower petals. And then I use the white paint and I draw short strokes from those yellow circles to create a flower. And I just do this for all of the yellow dots, and if you have drawn some of the dots really close to the edge, you may notice that some petals may not be visible because they will be cut off by the tape, but for me that is okay, and that's actually what I want. But if you want them all to be completely seen, then of course you should have made the yellow dots more in the center to begin with. For the second bookmark, I actually would have preferred to use a white gel pen, but I used a thin painting brush and white paint instead. You can use whatever you have on hand, but you want the line to be thin. So yeah, for the design, I just googled the constellation of my star sign, the Aries, and I painted it. And since it was pretty straight, I did it horizontally instead. But yeah, you can just Google your star sign and create your own design. And if you're an Aries like me, of course, you can make the same design. And yeah, as you can see, I made the lines too thick, but I will show you how I rescued it. But if you can, I would recommend you to make them thin to begin with, so you don't have to fix it. And yeah, I also made some tiny white dots, as you can see, to mimic stars. And to rescue the thick line, I tried using a thin black pen to give the illusion of a thinner line, but that didn't make it that much better though. But yeah, we'll fix that later once the white paint has fully dried and move on to the next bookmark in the meantime. For the last bookmark, I first removed that piece of tape we put at the bottom. Then I take a thin black pen and I draw a flower with a little bit of the flower stem outside of the background at the bottom. I also make sure to draw the flower in a way so that I have to remove a bit of the tape on the side and draw the flower outside of the beige background, as you will see in a bit. You don't have to be good at drawing flowers for this, in my opinion. I mean, I don't think the flower that I drew is outstandingly nice, but with this design, it just somehow works. As you can see here, I'm removing the tape and continuing to draw the flower petal outside of the beige background. Honestly, just a little bit, but if you have drawn your flowers so that you are much more outside of the line, that is completely fine. Like, we are just freestyling a bit here. It doesn't need to be perfect. You do whatever you want, okay? But yeah, next you can remove all pieces of tape that you applied vertically. Then I just decided to rescue the star sign bookmark further by adding some more blue-green paint at the edges to make the line thinner. And then it looked much better, but honestly, yeah, as I said before, I would have preferred using a white gel pen or just having a more precise hand when I drew the thin line. You may not have the same thickness of tape as I have, but here you want to measure out the middle between each frame of the bookmark on the vertical side so that you get like the same distance between both sides. So yeah, I'm not good at explaining it in words, but if you look at the video, you will probably understand. And again, I make a mark at the top, in the middle, and at the bottom so that I can draw a straight line. So yeah, here I'm just connecting the dots that I drew and drawing a straight line. Then I do the exact same thing for each white space between each bookmark. So yeah, I'm just measuring out the center between both bookmarks and then drawing a dot at the top, bottom, and in the middle, then drawing a straight line across. By the last bookmark, obviously we removed some tape there, but I just measured how many millimeters I had between the other sides of the frame, because between each bookmark you will get the exact same distance if you are careful. So yeah, you just measure it and measure out in the exact same way. Make a dot on the top, center, and bottom, and draw a straight line according to the distance. I'm so good at explaining, I know. I also decided to actually use the white gel pen and write Aries under the star sign because I thought it was a bit empty. If your star sign constellations look more exciting, you may not feel like you want to do this. It's completely optional. Then we just make sure to cut out the bookmarks as straight as we possibly can. And now you finally have your bookmarks. You can use them as they are, but if it's possible for you, you can laminate them. I suggest that you do that to keep them looking nice. That is what I did. But yeah, if you don't have the option to do that, it's no worries, but they may not look so nice after a while. But yeah, that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it and found it useful. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more art tutorials, and I will see you in my next video.